You're listening to The Dating Den with dating and relationship badass and best-selling author Marni Batista. Every week, you'll get the raw truth from top experts and real people on the important dating, sex, and relationship issues you want to know about. So if you're ready for true talk that's authentic and unfiltered, and you're not afraid to be called out on your stuff, then you're ready for what's next.
The Dating Den, episode 92 with Kim Seltzer. Choosing the right pics to get clicks. How to attract your high caliber man online now. Ladies, welcome into my dating den, into my lair. I've been watching a lot of great British baking show, by the way, and I love the way Mary Berry says layers, and she says laz. And so it reminded me that my dating den is la, but it's a L-A-I-R, layer. Anyway, I digress. I have Kim Seltzer here with me today. Hey, Kim.
Hello, Laz. I love that.
My la. Welcome to my la. I'm obsessed with all things British, but my British accent is so bad. So,
well, considering you married one, I could see why.
I do. So if you are British and you're like listening to my really bad British accent, I'm so sorry because I know it's so insulting. Anyway, so ladies, I have been like dying to do this podcast because Kim Seltzer is freaking amazing. If you don't know who she is part of our faculty at Dating with Dignity, and she is our image and flirting coach for our two programs that we have. And then she also has her own amazing business and projects that she does with her clients. And we have been working together, gosh, for I think pretty much 10 years since.
Forever.
Yeah, since I started. We're both Midwestern Jewish girls who came from, the land of corn and beans to California, divorced. Like, holy shit. Who are we? What do we do? And that's really an important piece because I know in my own journey, just like you have, Kim, coming into who you are isn't just cognitive, right? It's just not like, I have confidence. It impacts like everything, including how you show up on the outside in your image. So, and for me, and I've worked with Kim myself, by the way, peeps. I was the girl in college who I was wearing Hanes boxer shorts. I'd get the 3-pack.
Oh my God, you did not.
I did. And a t-shirt, and I have big boobs, so I wasn't even wearing a v-neck, right? So
I love that you know that by now.
I do, right? It's I wasn't even wearing a cute Hanes t-shirt. It was the wrong thing for my body type. And what I knew in my own journey working with Kim and then having her work with our clients is that, projecting an image externally and how you show up really is it's a critical piece. So Kim, when you think about, and we're going to talk today, by the way, ladies, about how to have an amazing, sexy image offline and online. If you were inside the heads of the ladies that are listening and they're like, fuck that. If they don't like the way I am, then I'm not gonna, what are some of the negative or limiting beliefs and mindset that will get in a woman's way from maximizing her opportunities to attract a really high quality guy?
Oh, you mean if a man doesn't like me for me, then F him?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah, that was totally mine. What else is out there?
Yeah. And I have to say, and I know exactly what's in all of your heads because I've been there, done that. And you know how you were talking about being in the cornfields in the Midwest and then the shit hitting the fan. Well, that was me because, the only difference between you and I is that my intervention was getting a red dress. Right. And then I had my red dress moment. It's when I really got out of my own way. And so before that, the conversation was, I just have to work on my inside. I didn't really, that's another limiting belief that if I just work on the inside, that'll be enough. like the outside doesn't really matter as much. And honestly, I felt that way too. And being a therapist, of course, like I thought the inside was, uber important. So that was another one that I have, that I didn't think that the way that I dressed or, kind of showed up was as important in terms of my sexy confidence. And boy, did I prove myself wrong and prove that to others. Right. Another limiting belief that I hear is that, I want a man to like me for me and not just, my sexuality. It's another common thing I hear a lot, meaning that they don't want to like play up their sexuality or femininity in fear of a man just wanting them for sex and not their intelligence. You hear that?
Yeah. I totally hear that. And like I said, I have the big boobs. So when I was growing up, I totally believed, like, cause I got them early. I thought like that was really the only reason guys wanted to talk to me. Right. So when I was doing this work with you and I'll never forget, I went in the dressing room with you and you were like, so this isn't your size, your smaller size. And I was like, no, like if I wear my size, then everyone will see my boobs and like, it's so tight. And I know that happens to you like 90% of the times when you walk into the dressing room with our clients, right?
Absolutely. And here's the thing. And actually the exciting thing about this, and I know this is going to sound strange, but like we don't see ourselves, right? Like what we see in the mirror is vastly different than what others see. And we're always harder on ourselves than other people are. And so when we see ourselves, it really takes a while for, my ladies, and I think this happened to you too, Marni, is like when you put on something that seemingly looks too tight or too small, but then you compare that picture to like the picture in your comfy, cozy, well, you call it condo clothes. I'll just say condo clothes or cocoon clothes, whatever you call it. Then, it's only then when people actually, it like shakes them and say, oh my gosh, I can't believe how different I look. And you know how you talk a lot about love shields. And I think that's so brilliant because I often tell people how their clothes acts as a shield, right? It's a way of hiding. And I certainly know, I always throw myself under the bus. That was totally me. Like I had the oversized black clothes and the Birkenstocks. And that was completely a way of hiding because I was scared to death. Like I didn't know what to do with men. So I'd rather hide in my clothes in the background, like lurking in the corner of a bar than actually putting myself out there in a red dress. So that's another limiting belief is I see a lot of women say, oh, well, that's just not me. Like that's her, but that's just not me. And I love helping women see that it is them.
Well, yeah. And so before we talk about the how-tos, so like, all right, ladies, so if you're actually here to change your life, then empty your freaking cup of like all these beliefs because Kim, why does all this shit matter? Like, why is this not like optional?
Image matters, ladies. I'm sorry. I know that sounds like superficial, but it does, because here's the thing, and this is just research, right? This is not even me talking, the blonde hair, blue eyed girl from LA. Like people always say, oh, well, because you're in LA, that's why you think image matters. It's like, no, there's actually research done that. First of all, if you look at the definition of image, it is how you're perceived, and that determines how people treat you. I mean, that is powerful. So there may be an incongruent message with who you are as a person and the way that you're marketing yourself. So like, isn't that cool knowing that if you could just change a few things in like what you're wearing, how you're presenting, that would actually match and who you are and bring out the best version of you? Like, why wouldn't you do it? Right? Like that's an easy fix. The other reason why it matters is because we are trying to attract a man, right? Like last time I checked, we're not trying to attract like a business partner or a friend. I mean, that would be a different podcast, right? I just want to make sure we're like on this, same page. So we are trying to attract a sexual partner. And so we want to exude a sexy feminine image that is, specific to you and right to you. But we want to embrace our femininity. We want to, be deemed as a sexy person. And I find more often than not, a lot of times women are uncomfortable with that. So that's where it starts, right? Like just kind of looking at that piece. But it does matter. And, there's so many things that men find sexy and beautiful in a woman. And it's really about embracing that.
Absolutely. And by the way, again, I'm just going to keep, because I can read your minds. You don't have to be a size 2 to be sexy. In fact, like I love the makeovers that you do with our clients who are curvy, because what they realize is that story they have going on that they can't be sexy because they're curvy is like not true. So that's
not true.
So, okay. So empty that cup. All right. So with your cups emptied, ladies. So let's just talk first, because we, in our 8-week program, we work with ladies and we do this complete transformation, like literally complete transformation, like freaking Cinderella style, in 8 weeks. And they spend a couple of weeks like really working on that internal piece. And then it's like the car wash. And then they go to the Kim Seltzer department.
Get all shiny.
They get all shiny, and you help them with their sexy image online. So if you were going to give some like basic tips of what to do and what not to do and the why, what say you?
So should we start like online or offline?
Let's start with online.
Okay. So the number one thing I would say is less is more. Not less clothes, ladies. But what I mean by that are less pictures. Like that's the biggest mistake that I see women make, is that they'll throw out a gazillion pictures. And remember, you're only as good as your worst picture. So like I've seen profiles where, the first shot is really cute and it's a nice, sexy image. And then you keep scrolling through, and then suddenly, and I kid you not, this happened once. This woman had like 20 pictures up. And by the time I got to her last one, she was holding a bowling ball with like oversized jeans and a big sweatshirt with her hair pulled back. She's like, well, but I wanted a guy to see, my lifestyle, that I'm sporty. I'm like, honey, that may be true. But if you were wearing like a cute red dress holding the bowling ball, then I would approve. But that wasn't the case. So that's the thing. And we do this with men, ladies. Let's face it. Have you ever seen a picture of a guy and he looks cute and you keep, scrolling through the stuff?
Totally.
Right. And then you're like, ugh. And then you see one bad picture and then you'll click off. So that's number one. Number two, really make sure that the pictures are the best version of you. And what I mean by that is you got to think of it even in terms of marketing. Like, if you're putting up a website, that you're going to put like, a really nice picture that looks professional, that hopefully speaks to your business. Same thing with your online profile. You should be marketing yourself as a beautiful, feminine, kind of image where you'll get clicks on your pics. And so I always suggest there definitely needs to be one shot in you in a dress. And I can already hear people say, oh, but I can't wear dresses, and you know what, if that is your limiting belief, you definitely need to like get into Marni's program or get with us. I love like debunking that myth all the time because I always find dresses for people. And it should be a full body shot. Another one, just like a nice headshot. And I'd say the third one is nice casual look, but I always like air that with a like caution, because a lot of times they hear the word casual and then they have like, no makeup on with like baggy pants. And that's not what I mean. Like you can still look sexy and cute and casual and sleek. And so you have to make sure you have that right casual look. And I'd say, there's so many rules, but I'd say I just want to list the top 3. The third is that the picture should only be of you, ladies. Like, oh my God, I can't tell you how many times I see pictures with women with like a ton of people and they're partying and they have, drinks in their hand, or they have sunglasses on and they look like the party girl. There's this one woman, I kid you not, she had that. And she wanted like a real relationship. She was looking for a serious relationship, but her pictures were not speaking to wanting that. She looked like a party girl. So guess who was clicking on her picture? Guys who wanted a hookup.
Yeah.
And she was wondering why. So what you put out is what you get back.
that's huge. And I love that you brought up this point. Like there's this belief of like, I want my photos to show my lifestyle. And that's where you end up with the bowling ball, or let's say you do like you're social and you do like to go listen to music, or maybe you have a cocktail in your hand, or my worst my favorite worst photos are for all of you adventure girls. And there's photos of you in your bike pants with your biking helmet, with your glasses on, like in a pack of bikers. Or there's a dot of you standing in front of Machu Picchu that you climbed, you know, or standing in front of like the Great China Wall, you know, and it's like, there you are. And so when you're looking, what I hear you saying is that the photos are not really there to really paint the picture necessarily of what you do. They're really having the job of something completely different, correct?
Correct. I always say, like, save those pictures of Machu Picchu to, you know, when you start dating the guy, and then you can like look through your scrapbook together, right? Like that. You can still tell guys later on all your lifestyle stuff, and, you know, but yes, you have to almost think of your profile as your like dating website, honestly, you know, and that's it. You just want to show the best version of you. That's a sexy, feminine image that's approachable. And so ladies, here's another like just secret tip, and it's not really secret because this was a study put out by Match.com, is that look into the camera and smile, because if you're looking away, you look aloof and bitchy and you won't get clicks. Isn't that interesting? Like body language too, ladies. I just wanted to mention that. Let's talk huge. About it,
because that's totally huge. Because one of the things that I see in the clients that we work with is that when they see their after pictures after doing the inside work and then working with you, and they see how comfortable they are looking in their body, in that sexy version of themselves, they're shocked. They can't believe that they are so comfortable. So tell me about that body language online and what is important about that.
I will start with a really quick story just to like emphasize this thing. When I was a matchmaker, I think Marni, you knew that.
Yeah, totally.
And it was so fascinating because I got to intervene, right? I would talk to both parties and I would show pictures, you know, to both the men and the women, and then I would hook them up. Well, this guy was like really, really picky. Okay. And he had this certain, you know, requirements, let's just say, of the woman. I found him the perfect woman. Like, she actually used to model. All the personality traits he was looking for, location was spot on. So I was really excited. So I'm on the phone. Thank goodness I was on the phone. It just shows like when you have no control what these guys do. So I'm talking to him and I show a picture of this girl. Now, if you can picture this, she had her arms folded. She had this gray sweater on, and she's looking really sternly without a smile into the camera. Okay. And right away he says, no. I said, what? He says, no. I said, I'm sorry. What are you reacting to? Like, I think she has like a lot of things that you're looking for. And he says, honestly, she looks like she would kick my ass. He says, I don't need the high maintenance girl. And I said, that's so fascinating. I said, hang on one second. I have another picture. Can you hold on? And so I sent him another picture. Now, this time she's in a dress. She's out in the sunlight. Her hair is, you know, flowing in the wind, and she's smiling softly with her head cocked into the camera. And I hear a thump on the other end. Like, he literally fell off his chair, and he's like, oh my God. Yes. I can't believe I almost, you know, turned her away. I said, very interesting. So what was he reacting to? Because in the second version, she looked approachable. She looked feminine. She looked sexy and approachable. And so those, you know, and that was simply in her body language. Obviously what she was wearing was uber important, but, you know, when it comes to first impressions, what happens in the brain, again, this is research. It only takes 30 seconds on Bumble and Tinder, obviously a lot quicker. You're determining and you're basing your decisions and judgment call on two two things, the attire that a person has, so your wardrobe, and also the attitude and body language. So that's huge, right? And so like when you take pictures and when you're showing up both online and offline, what is your body language saying? You know, are you open or are you closed? And there's a lot, I mean, you know this, Marni, there's a lot of, you know, nuances to that, you know, from your facial expressions to your posture, to the way you hold your hands, all of it.
That's amazing. And here's what's really interesting is I have clients who come in and they're like, yeah, well, I just did my photos. Like I got my photos for work, or I have my work headshot. Mm-hmm. And they're literally like wearing their corporate like biz outfit.
And folding their arms, right?
They're totally folding their arms. Or, you know, let's say you have your own website, right? And you got those website photos. And so you're like folding your arms, or the hands on the hips, power, you know, the power thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's really, really important that the photos that you use are not the photos that you took for another purpose.
Mm-hmm, exactly. And that, you know, I think a lot of women have this kind of misconception of, you know, well, if it's professionally done, then it must be a good photo, or, you know, it was a picture that they liked and their girlfriends liked, but they're not keeping in mind, and I see this with clothes too, of what a guy might like. I mean, let's face it, we dress for each other. We do, mostly. Like, you know, because we go, oh my God, that's so cute. And we have the patterns and we have the flowers and all that. But that's not necessarily what men find sexy. And so that's the other conversation, right? Is like keeping it to the point of, okay, well, what is it that a man likes? And I know that it's hard to know that, but there are definitely some secrets that they tell me, because I work with men too.
So let me ask you this question. So we had a client ask a question actually in our private online group just the other day, because again, it's like Kim and I are in your heads, ladies. So, you know, and she said, oh, I was talking to my son and he was dating online, my adult son. He was dating online and he said, you know, Mom, you know, you don't want to like have these awesome pictures, and then, not that you're not pretty, Mom, right? But like, and then you show up in the date and that's not you, because you don't wear makeup, or you don't da 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 da. And so again, all of you guys that are listening, you're looking for damn excuses to not do what Kim and I are telling you to do. I know that. So our brain goes to these like justifications and rationalizations. And so great, this lady, her son brought that up. So debunk that myth.
Oh my, and I hear that all the time. Well, I don't want to show up different than, you know, than I really am. And my kind of like rebuttal to that is, but what if you did become that woman? Like, that's the conversation right there. Like the fact, right? The fact that you're not her, you know, what is that about? And why can't you be that? And so that is what I would kind of talk to the son about and her about, is that there's no reason why she can't show up like that. I mean, obviously you're not going to get your hair and your makeup done every single time you go out, you know, and pretend to be a walking website. But are there aspects of that look and that feel that you had in that photo shoot that you can carry with you all the time? And see, this is what I see happen over and over again with my clients. It's a domino effect. They'll have the photo shoot, right? Because I do photo shoots too with people, and they see themselves for the first time as this beautiful, almost model-like quality, you know, they can't even believe that, they can't even get over it, that it's them. And so there's this shift that happens where they start actually seeing themselves finally for the first time in their life as that woman. And I said, you know, and I often tell people, what if you merged what you see in front of you to who you are every day? And that's where it all happens. And you know what? It works. It does domino. I've had people who say, I don't wear makeup and I hate dresses, to like wearing dresses every day and putting on red lipstick. You know what I mean? Like, because they see the impact it has on their confidence. Because really at the end of the day, and what both Marni and I are talking about, and you know this, is that men love women who love themselves. This isn't even about the man. It's about you and how you feel. And that's what the men will appreciate.
Absolutely. It's amazing. So we were just working with clients live over this past weekend, actually. And so we brought in makeup artists and we did their makeup before they went out on this little Saturday night activity interacting with men. And Kim, you weren't there for this part, but like they had lipstick on that was like, you know, bright, like red or pink, or whatever it was. And some of them were like, oh, I want to wipe this off. And we were like, no, you look amazing. And we're sitting there on Sunday morning doing a debrief. And there were a couple of ladies and who, you know, in their lives have never had this happen. She was like, a man literally stopped talking to his friend and turned his head and watched me walk by. She
Bam!
Was like, right?
Love it. Yeah.
And she was like, I felt like so like powerful and sexy in this lipstick. Once I decided to like act as if, right? Like what if this is my alter ego, right? And they were just all blown away by how practicing the flirting that you had taught them, wearing the right clothes that we coach them to wear, to doing their makeup, to having then that internal confidence of loving themselves. And here they are, you know, out and about doing this work, which was really fun and literally, you know, having a blast, meeting a lot of really high quality men and really being women who were head turners. And again, it didn't matter their size, had nothing to do with it. So this work is not, it's really not optional. And so before we go, because I know you have to run and we'll probably just do a whole nother show and devote it to this. But if you were going to give those same quick 3 tips on your image offline.
Yes.
Sexy image. What do you got for us?
Number 1, dress. Number 1, dress. I know that, you know, again, a lot of women, I don't wear that. I'm too cold. I have every excuse under the sun, but it's important to the aspect of what you just actually highlighted. And that story you told at the workshop is that, you know, it's almost a costume. You have to think of it as your dating costume, even if it's not you, because you will walk differently, you will feel differently, and the man will notice that. And that's the number one thing men totally tell me that they find sexy. They love a woman in a skirt, in a dress, because it really connotates just this feminine energy that's different. Number 2, getting a pair of heels. And I can already hear women say, but I can't wear heels. I have bunions, da, 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 da. And I understand that. I have feet problems too, but there are alternatives. There are amazing things out there that you can get. I mean, the chunky heels are in right now. Who knows what it'll be? Although the 80s are coming back, sadly, with the pencil thin heels. I'm so sad. But the chunky heels are still out there. There's definitely like the way that your calves are defined, it'll slow down your walk. Your posture's different. I mean, I'm sorry, but you walk differently in a pair of heels than you do Birkenstocks. We all know this. Okay. Number 3, I would say, is really take a look at your wardrobe and what is it that you feel confident in, you know, because that's part of that sexiness is you showing up in something that feels good on you. Now, obviously, I'm not talking about the sweatpants ladies, right? I'm talking about like if you had a date or an event, what is that outfit, that go-to outfit that you pull all the time? Is it the cut? Is it the color? Like what about those pieces really make you feel confident? And, you know, when you're looking at those pieces and your wardrobe, pay attention to kind of the features of your body that you really love. You know, as women, and this is a whole other conversation, right? We tend to focus on what we don't like rather than what we do like. So really take a look in the mirror, a hard look in the mirror and say, what is it that I love about my body? And what can I showcase and put on that just makes me feel good and sexy walking in on that date? And so those are like some easy ways to get started, thinking about a dress, thinking about heels, and what makes you feel sexy.
I love it. And I really, it's so exciting. Right now, I think there's a whole little batch in our 8-week program that are starting to work with you and they're getting their photos together. And it's just amazing to watch this transformation of doing that internal work, really understanding what clothes look great on them, becoming the person who they are in that photo shoot, which I think is like the most amazing piece, right? Because we're talking about sustainability.
Yes. And it does sustain. Like it does transfer. Like every single client that I've worked with, even when I follow up with them, it's still carrying over, and it all can start with a red lipstick. It can all start with just one pair of heels and just start walking and practicing and marinating in it, even if it's a costume for you in the beginning.
I love that, because ultimately you want to be the person you want to attract. And so just like Kim said, and I'll bring it back, you're swiping, you're looking at those photos.
Yeah.
So, right. And I love also, I just want to highlight, your online profile is like your website, right? And you're wanting to market your authenticity, and there is a shield if you're hiding, right? If all those limiting beliefs we talked about, guess what? They're limiting you. That's why we call them damn limiting beliefs. So if you would like to work with us, we want you to go to dwdvip.com, dwdvip.com, and book an opportunity to talk with myself, someone in my team, and we will help you figure out what's not working for you. We will focus on what it is that you want to create. Who do you want to attract? What do you want your life to look like right now? This does not have to take 6 months. You'll be like, yeah, in the next year. No, now, damn it, now. If this is what you want to create in your life, totally grab one of those time slots. We'll talk to you for like an hour and 50 minutes. If we can help you, we'll let you know. If we think we can't help you, we'll be super honest. We'll point you in the direction of what we think you should do first. And come to the Marni Batista, Kim Seltzer car wash. We're out there. We're flipping signs. We're having a great time. No, because really the upshot of this is that, look, Kim is a therapist. She's a certified style coach. She's a dating coach. She was a matchmaker. She works with men, right? Like when you are intentional about your life, then you will get the same result, just like you did in your career, just like you did with a fitness goal. And the last thing I want to say, which I want Kim to kind of to put a bow on it, is there is a complacency that comes from frustration, right? Like I know you're online. You're like, it sucks. There's no good men, right? There's a complacency. And what this podcast really, and I love this conversation, is it's calling you out on some of those beliefs and really confronting that which you think is true, because that what you think is true is exactly the thinking that got you to where you are today. And if you are not putting yourself in a position to be confronted with your thoughts and pushed out of your comfort zone, out of that condo, out of that cocoon to take down the shield, then you will get the same result. Kim, what do you got to say about that as we get ready to walk out of the lair?
Love that. And you know what that is all about is fear, right?
Yes.
And to really look at what is it that you're fearing? What is scary about putting yourself in a red dress and putting yourself out there online? I dare you. I dare all of you to take down all your pictures and just put one picture of you in a red dress and prove me wrong. Or Marni wrong. Right? Let's just see what happens, because it's all about shaking things up. I mean, if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting that same result, like Marni was saying. So the only time you're going to really, feel changes is doing something that makes you feel uncomfortable. That's when change happens. Otherwise, you're doing the same thing. So I love that. And yes, obviously, get in touch with Marni. You can also find me on my website and my podcast, Charisma Quotient. And yeah, let's just keep the conversation going.
Absolutely. And in the show notes, there's a link to Kim's amazing podcast. We recommend all our clients listen to it, The Charisma Quotient. You can check out all her befores and afters. We have a link to her website. Follow her. She does really fun stuff on Instagram too, with your daily tips. I love it. It's so fun. Ladies, dwdvip.com. Get out of your day. Look, I have a dating den. It's femininely well appointed. But you people are in a comfy, cozy condo.
And cocoon with your clothes.
You are cocooning in your clothes. You are sweatpant girl. I know, because I used to be her. It does not matter. This is your opportunity to pivot. Create the life that you want. Because I promise you, when you put it all together, it will be raining men. Hallelujah. Quality men. So thank you, Kimmy. I love you. We'll have lunch soon. We'll do another show. We'll just focus on flirting.
Yay. Love it. Love you too.
Mwah. All right, ladies, don't forget, date with some damn dignity, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.